Alrighty. So, oh, hold on. Let me just move this thing over there. That's going to be easier. Excellent. When we last left our heroes, you had finished your mission of the Speedster missing case.
Mhm.
Of course, finding out that it was the sun, because it's always the sun. You guys all knew this.
Mhm.
Mako deciding to try and hop with a motorcycle, which would have been so cool if only she could have rolled a little bit higher. And then you had the wonderful, Kitasha going through and just faking her way through making bids. And we had Joe quietly waiting up in the corner for his chance to strike and perfectly fix this speedster. As well as knock over some scaffolding that also led to Mako crashing her bike.
Mhm.
That really wasn't his fault.
It's fine.
But as you returned, you were greeted by Yaga, who proceeded to hand Kitasha several letters from her siblings,
Mhm.
and to inform Joe about a robotic dog named Hercules who had been left in his care, which Hercules can join you at this point. It would have taken you only a few moments to fix up whatever was going on. He was just in a locked mode. So he'll be able to join you. Mako was just there like, yep, I have no attachments. And you were all informed that you have a new mission that has been going to be assigned to you guys that should, if you succeed, put you up in the ranks to a 1-star guild member at Scrambling Claw. She informed you to go ahead and go see Talos when you're ready, and he'll be able to inform you of your mission.
Okay. Did we ever decide how much money Kitasha made?
I was going to let you guys know that at the end of this mission, because that's when we're really going to deal with the, spending money. David and I talked it out. Potentially about 20 gold that you got out of that.
Num, 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 num.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, your spending time comes in the downtime session that we'll have after this mission.
Mhm. Okay.
So yeah.
All right. So team, we gotta have a team name. I reckon we gotta have like a group name. We'll come to that later. But I think we've done pretty well the last two missions. I think we might be ready for the next step.
Yeah. Sure. It's I thought her name was Jimk
Oh yes,
on the garage. Is that
that works. Yeah, we can keep that.
Jimk?
And all right. So, does anyone have anything else they'd like to do before we go and pick up this mission?
I think I'm gonna put away these letters. I do have enough pocket space for them, but I don't want to necessarily carry them around all the time. And as a very, very slight point of order, I totally misgendered Elphabet. Eliphalet. Eliphalet is a male, not sister. But yeah, other than that, Kitasha will go to. I think you discussed this earlier, and I'm just not remembering.
No worries.
Do we have separate rooms, or do we have like a suite that we all share together?
It's kind of like, think of it like a 3-bedroom apartment situation. So you guys have your each individual rooms with ensuite bathrooms, but then you have a main living quarters that you kind of share together outside of that. So it would still technically be like one apartment section, or a flat.
Okay.
Include my fiance into my terminology.
Okay, yeah. Kitasha will run up to the rooms and stow the letters in a box with several other letters that are exactly the same. Before like shutting it, locking it, putting it back under the bed, and then running back down to meet with Nico and Joe.
You don't run into too many people. A couple people kind of like wave at you, but yeah, you're able to do that completely impeded for the time being.
No. Not the time being.
And guys, this is my dog. I hesitate on the word dog. It's just this giant metal mastiff. It's probably like it's like very heavy looking. Little rudimentary. No, is that the right word? Like basic looking. Like So he is a good boy, and he will listen to me. But if he doesn't listen to me, he'll probably listen to you. I'm trying to work out some of the problems, but the goal is that he will be able to protect others, and I'd like to make more in the future and be able to protect everyone. But this is just a work in progress.
Is it your own design?
Yes. I'd like to. He's not been in the battlefield before, so I will be fine tuning as much as I can to try and make this to work well. But I'm hoping that he can run in, perhaps with you, Meko, and be a backup. Support.
No, it's, legitimately, he's very impressive. I've seen a couple of different machinists in my time, and it looks to be really solid work. I'm impressed.
Thank you. I hope so. We'll have to wait till the to an actual fight to see if it holds up. I'll just pat his head.
Wait. Comes the sound out of it. Its voice box isn't great.
Bark.
Wait. Bork.
It's just like text to speech voice. It's just
much like Kiza.
Yeah, as long as it's the weird voiceovers for like TikTok.
Oh.
Yes, the AI voice.
Yeah, the weird TikTok AI voice. Just bark.
He's trying his best.
That's okay.
All right, let's go.
Yeah, Kitasha, to say hello to the dog, is going to try and approach it like an actual dog. And kind of like hunker down to its level, and hold out her hand for Hercules to sniff. I don't know. Go.
This is your dog, Joe? How does your dog react?
If I have control, I absolutely will.
I think he's got the programming. I'd like to attempt to like copy a normal dog. So even though I don't know if it has a sense of smell or the ability to smell, I reckon it's gonna try and like, at least imitate the action, but very awkwardly. Like it's kind of got like a bit of a lag. It's like you offer your hand and it's like processing for a second, then it's like, all right, yeah, this is the action for hand. The biggest problem right now is that if I leave Hercules to himself, he just starts looking around and jumping and sort of dodging in random directions. Unless I'm constantly giving him something to do, then he tends to be a little odd. So I'm just trying to work on that one as well.
Tried rolling up treats in like an old towel. That used to work for all the at the docks.
We did that with Leslie. We used jeans.
Oh, freezing some like nut paste, sticking it
I
inside
think he.
a.
I think he consumes magic instead of food. I think like he's powered by whatever magical energy that I possess, which admittedly is not very much. But I maybe I can try and use some spell energy to give him a treat.
I mean, that'd be cool. It might him just because it sounds like he just has too much energy.
Hmm. Yeah, well, maybe I've got to dial it back. You mean?
Yeah.
Who's a slightly good boy?
Don't listen to him. You're just.
Yeah, just fine. You know, he's not good. He's just fine.
I feel like this is judgments on the dog that lives with me.
He's
He is
not
a
even a
good boy.
mastiff. He's not even a mastiff.
Be careful, you're looking at your own future with that, what you're describing of that dog.
It's legally speaking as a different dog.
Legally. This dog does not exist. Legally.
You see, Your Honor, I was insulting a fictional dog that I made up earlier. However, my wife still killed me.
If this gets posted, half the internet's going to try and kill you for insulting a dog made up.
It's true. You'd better
I'll have to
watch
make it-
yourself.
I think it's fine. All right. Should we move on to the? Let's find that mission board.
Yeah.
That's good.
Let's see. Did we get a special something or other? Did we get called in for a special something or other?
You got. She's been just doing her own thing over at the little desk. Hears you say, "Go to the mission board," and she looks up at you and says, I told you earlier. You just have to go to Talos's room.
Tell us.
I told you he summoned you there." And she kind of laughs to herself. Goes back to sorting paperwork.
Okay. We find Talos, and then we find the mission. All right. We ride at dawn.
We can
Odd thing to say.
go now.
Okay, yeah, we could do that too.
All right. As you approach, you're welcomed by the same, door with nameplate. Talos. I can't remember if I gave him a surname, but I'm just gonna ignore it. It's just Talos. Would you like to enter the room? How would you like to enter the room?
All three at once, like shoulder to shoulder.
I don't know if the door is
The
quite
board
wide.
only
enough
one
for that.
person wide.
About all y'all. Kitasha's knocking for.
Thank you.
Who knows what this person is up to?
Talos, you'll remember, is the head guild master who greeted you when you first joined. So as Kitasha knocks, while the rest, she kind of shoulders you back from just barging in, Joe. You hear yes, come in. And you may enter. As long as you do so. So you enter, you see Talos, the high elf. If you don't remember, his image is in the character art. Very dark skin, very long dreadlocks, very neat and proper, very green, like, waistcoat, very, properly sat back. And next to him is you can tell is a nobleman, but he's very, very disheveled. He is think a tabby cat tabaxi. Though you notice right away from his a bit of his his waistcoat is kind of buttoned kind of off. His shirt's very partially untucked. He's got a coat that's kind of ripped. You can see that his left arm is a augmented arm. Lots of mechanical joints, and he's looking at you very seriously now as you walk in. It is good to see you three. This is Talos. You see, Sir Nearman Felix here has quite the problem on his hands.
Before they start, Kitasha, kind of noticing that he's very disheveled, would like to do an insight check.
Go for it.
Just to see if there's any extra information she can glean. That is, I think, 21. I don't think I get an extra D4.
That's all right.
Pretty sure.
So, what you can gather just by looking at this man is that this is someone who's not used to traveling the way that he has. Something must have happened that made him up and leave wherever he's from in a hurry. And he was very free travel that he did. Like, this is very clearly, that a lot of tabaxi are, in the aristocratic circle. He's definitely not someone you would say travels or adventures, and it's very clear from his clothes that he must have spent some time out in the mountains and wooded areas pretty close by to the city. So you can assume he must have been traveling down here and was in a rush. So, Nearman, David's gonna laugh at the use of this name because that is one of the refs in our hockey league that no one likes.
Oh no.
I tease. Yes. Hello. You three must be this group I've heard so much about. I'm sorry for the disheveled state of myself. I'm quite embarrassed about it. Yes, as Talos was saying, I desperately need help with a situation back at my manor to the northeast of here. Some form of curse or something has just fallen over my manor, and everything is in ruins, and I cannot seem to fix it. I have no magical talent of my own or adventuring. I mean, look at me. I am, I'm not a part of that expertise. I need someone to go in and fix it. He's very flustered and very clearly just a very upset cat.
Well, I'm sure we can do our best to help. I'll admit I don't have any experience with curses, but I can do my best to help.
Yes, I understand that. I know. To be honest with you, I know that it is a superstition amongst most people, but like I don't know if it's fae or something like that. But I work in this is a new manor that I purchased, and I had things set up perfectly, and I was supposed to move everything in, and I went through to inspect, and then suddenly everything started going.
Is there anyone else in the house right now?
No, I was going, like I said, I had just purchased it and had it fixed up, and I had just had a large amount of moving crews up. I'm sorry, I'm not giving you any context. Um, I'm a collector of interesting artifacts. Like I said, I am not one for magic, but I find it quite interesting and like to study it. So I bought this manor in order to have a good area away from the city to experiment and test and find out more about these ancient artifacts and things of the such. And it's a new investment. My servants hadn't quite moved in yet. I went through to just inspect everything beforehand, and I don't understand, but everything is wrong.
All right.
It's wrong how?
Everything about it seems to be things keep springing to life and attacking me. Things that were never touched by magic, to my knowledge. I mean, things as simple as a table chair, like my dining room chairs, spring up and attack me. And I don't understand. It's
It almost sounds like a regular doobie skoo.
yes, I have heard of this. It's I don't quite know what to do with it.
Yeah. Well, we have a little bit of magical talent between all of us, and we're pretty good at solving mysteries. So, if you would like our help, I'm sure we as Jim can definitely.
Oh, is that what you call it? Junk. Oh, as Telus was telling me, you're such a high-ranking individuals. If you look to Telus, he's sitting a little bit farther back from this man, and just his hand's been like this, and he just puts his hand back down. And for just I've tried to get things set up myself, and I hired some people to get things set up for me, and I don't know if this is some vandalism spell or something. Or if I built upon a Feywild section, I don't know. I'd really like to be able to use my investment properly.
If I may ask, has this been going on since you bought the property?
No, it was just, when I got everything moved over, it was fine when it was built. But as soon as I moved everything in, we had just finished moving the last of my shipments in when I went to inspect and make sure everything was there, that it started happening.
If you be asking, what was part of your last shipment?
What wasn't part of it? I had anything from, different enchanted swords, spears, bows, several suits of armor, cloaks, a couple of stone tablets, wands. I have so many things, to be honest with you. Looking at it, I could tell you everything that I own, but to try and name it all without going through all of my records and giving you a entire itemized list, I'd really struggle to tell you what was in each individual shipment.
Did you contract with a moving company, or did you have it with people that you know and trust?
I had my own personal recommendations. It's a very, high-end movers that a lot of the aristocratic and scientific community use.
Okay.
Um, so, yeah, nothing like many of my colleagues have used them before and have never had issues.
Well, I suppose the least we can do is go there and have a look around, see if we can spot anything, find the source of whatever this is. We will try our very best not to damage any of your furniture or anything, but I imagine if we're being attacked by a chair, we may have to fight back.
Yes, that's not an issue. The only thing I ask, you could even, if you need to test any of the items I have to make sure that they're, not whatever's causing it. If somehow within a different space something's causing it, that's fine. I do ask you to leave everything there. Even if you have to damage furniture or damage things, that I completely understand. I would like to keep my things there unless if there's something there specifically causing this issue. I don't see what it could be. Nothing was interacting before it moved. If one of you would like to try to get some additional information, I would take a investigation check to get a little bonus information.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Bonus information.
24.
Let's see, I'm not going to do better than that. Nope, that's a 13.
We'll try. No. All right.
So, Mako's just been like, classic. This is a classic thing when just go in, figure it out. Easy mission.
I think Mako's convinced that like we're dealing with a ghost and this is poltergeist that we're dealing with.
She's coming up with her own plans on how to get, a good vacuum to bust this ghost. Joe, after a couple moments of talking to this man, he goes, also, just so that you're aware, and so you're not frightened by it, I don't know the exact things to do with it, but I did have a very good sorcerer put an protection enchantment on the house, the building itself. Now, mind you, this was before anything moved in. So I can guarantee that's not what's causing it because it didn't start affecting until the last shipment came in. I'm not 100% sure on the details, but I have definitely seen sometimes when I'm coming back to the house, everything inside the house will be in perfect condition, but sometimes there are things in the courtyard. Say it seems like maybe someone tried to come in and they were unable to. You just will need here. He pulls out 3 little charms and hands them to each of you. And he fishes around. I think I have, yes, one more, and he hands it to you to give your dog. These will let you pass through the protection. As far as I'm aware, that's all you should need. But yeah, so it's definitely something inside the house that is causing it, but just so you are aware, again, I wish I had more details, but I'm really not good with magic. And, the sorcerer just ensured me that just looking at the layout of my house that they could do something with.
Good to know. We'll bear that in mind. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Unless there's any other comments, Talos will sit back up. Now, I will have you guys meet with Giza. They have a couple of things for you before you head off, as well as just preparation. It will be quite a journey up there. And you, Mr. Felix, we will get you all taken care of and set up in your own, room either here or at a hotel to make sure you are comfortable while the group goes through and make sure that he'll wave to you three to go ahead. You three know that Kiza is probably in the artificer workshop. That is.
Let's run on down there then. Well, I assume the artificer workshop's in the basement or something.
Yeah, something like that. So as you three walk down there, you enter in. You can see the Warforged Kiza K1Z4 working on something that you can't quite see on the workbench. And then straighten back up, turn to you. Hello, Kitasha, Mako, and Joe. I assume Talos sent you down here?
Yeah, he did.
Nice man.
Said you had something for us?
Yes. So, I have several things for you. This, in particular, and Kiza holds up what looks like a couple of just metallic clasping rings. I believe that the issue happening is some form of magical item that is causing some transmodifications to other items within the house. I have forged these to be magic canceling. If you attach them to the item, it should stop its area of effect. I also need to inform you that you will not be able to travel by automobile alone. It can get you as far as the edge of the city, but you will need to travel through much rougher terrain. Talos has set up several things for you, including these 3 bags here. And you'll look over and there's, a couple big size bags. These include rations, camping supplies, and if you would like, we also have 3 horses on the edge of the city, if you would like to travel by horse.
Yeah.
There are also 3 potions of healing in case you were to get injured.
I appreciate that.
One for each of you. By horseback, you should arrive in 3 days, but if you choose not to take them, it'll be closer to 6 days.
Of course it is. Mako will turn to Joe and Katasha and ask, do either of you know how to ride?
No, not even slightly.
Oh, it's not much difference than being on a boat.
Mako will make a face at that, but assume you know what you're talking about.
Yeah, both are kind of rocky.
He makes no reaction to this, by the way.
Michaela, just so I can add it. Sorry, Anna.
Oh no, go ahead.
Okay. What kind of healing potion is it? Just because I'm trying to add it on D&D Beyond.
It's the just potion of
There's
healing.
like greater.
No.
There's like lesser, greater. Is there a standard one?
I think there was a standard one when I had looked it up, but it's probably lesser. It's the smallest.
It's going to be the common one. It's called Potion of Healing.
Oh, common.
Yes.
Oh, it's literally just called Potion of Healing. Okay. That makes sense.
It should be 2d4 plus 2.
Yes.
Nice. Yeah, I got it.
Kiza will also turn to you. Mako.
Mhm.
As well, with the magic canceling rings, I would like it if you would bring that item back. I have talked to Sir Felix about this, and he agreed that if it is an item, that it should remain in guild custody.
Fair enough.
That is all I have for you. Unless you have any questions?
No, I'm good.
If we put these magic cancellation bracelets on ourselves, does that mean we can't use magic?
You see a couple of like electricity bolts through the eyes a little bit. Yes.
Oh, good to know. I will
As
not be
long
wearing
as
this.
the rings are attached to something, whether organic or mechanical or otherwise, it will restrain magic from expelling from that thing.
That seems really good.
Yes. I worked hard to make these for you. I had a feeling that these might come in handy. I will make more if it seems they work well for this mission.
Thank you, Kiza. That's a very, very powerful item. Thank you.
Kiza will look at each of you, and if no one else stops them, they will turn around and go back to their workbench.
Sounds good.
All right, sounds like we have a trajectory. We got a plan.
Also, you guys got a map. Sorry, I've just realized I never mentioned it, but you have a map to the place.
And
You
we
know
even
where
have
you're
this
going.
map.
Yeah.
Yes. It magically appears suddenly in Joe's hand.
Oh, look.
No.
I found
Here
it.
we go. No. The dog. You see your dog walking up slowly from behind you, and he's got it in his for you.
Thank you, Hercules.
Fork.
Yeah, we got to get a new voice chip in there. We'll have to get Kitasha to record a few different barks or like random, we had her doing screaming last time, so we can try some other noises.
Our could get us at school and could record some of the velociraptor sounds. I think that
The ideal dog.
would reach.
That.
I guess the velociraptor noise could be akin to a bark in the Jurassic Park movies, where it says like claw, claw, like that sort of noise. You know that noise. I'm not doing a loud. I'm not doing a loud impression while my entire family is asleep. You know the noise.
Claw.
Well, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That's a good enough impression.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The pain it caused me, it's fine. Alrighty. So,
Right.
are you just gonna head back upstairs, or is there anything else you would like to do before going to whatever vehicle is taking you to the edge of town?
I think we're ready.
Yeah.
I think so.
All right. You three walk back upstairs and, head out the door because at this point you realize there's going to be an automobile for you with some form of insect driving. And, here it comes, speeding around the corner. You've got a, once again, standard brass and steel automobile swinging around very fast and skidding quickly to a stop directly in front of you three on the streetway, and you can see a wasp-bee mixture sitting there. No, Mako, not what you think.
Okay.
It's too slender.
All right.
The B movie.
Its face is very soft, as a bee's can look. It's got quite a bit of floof around the neck, but the rest of it is very thin. It opens the doors from inside, and when you jump in, you might also notice that this one's a little bit larger, allowing for space for Hercules to join you. And your
Nice.
insectoid driver will reach his hand back.
Maybe we'll.
Money?
I don't know who had the actual.
Someone has a map.
Yeah.
Does
Oh,
of
I'll
the
pass
map.
over the map.
Yeah. And we'll hand that forward, and Mako will in Thrycreen tell the driver where we're going and what we're looking for, where the horses are and such.
There will be a chitter of a thank you to you. You will quickly look at the map, and then hand back whoever chooses to take the map,
Yeah.
and begin swiftly driving that way, going from to about 60 in about 10 seconds. You've noticed over the time driving here, and it's quite interesting that other than every once in a while loud chitterings at pedestrians who randomly decide to cross in front, the Thrycreen don't seem to hit each other somehow when they're driving. They all seem to know exactly where another vehicle is and perfectly time any motions around each other. You're not really sure how this happens, but it doesn't strike you as odd because you've seen it so many times. It's just how it's been since the Thrycreen started doing drivers.
It's awesome. I'm waiting for the Thrycreen to see if he puts on any music.
Does the car have a stereo?
There is no radio within the vehicle. And even if there was, all you would hear is the sound of chittering.
It is perhaps a large gramophone he's got sitting on top of the dashboard or something.
No.
Now here's the real question: does Hercules have a record player in him?
He does now.
From Lilo and Stitch, where
Oh yes, that's perfect. It's either that or he just crunches up an entire disc, like he just swallows the entire thing and then can play it, like somehow.
As smooth
Alright.
jazz fills the vehicle.
I knew
You
it had
start-
to be jazz.
Listen, the time era I'm giving it, it's jazz or swing. You're
If-
headed on your way.
if it's jazz, Gitasha will take out her glar and try to attempt like a soulful French horn
Give me a
edition.
performance.
Okay,
Oh.
while she's rolling. Okay.
Yuck, yuck, yuck.
There is some very loud horn noises coming from the back of this vehicle. You watch your Thrycreen's driver's antennae kind of,
Which
and then just kind of like slump against his head a little bit. You could tell that he wasn't too thrilled about the music to begin with, but then the additional horn, he's not a fan. But as you continue on, you eventually will reach your destination on the edge of town, where you will see 3 horses lined up along a fence post tied off. There's a small, one of the larger horses, which I will allow Katasha to describe her own horse, whatever she wants, but it will have a small wagon behind it that it can bring along to bring the supplies. What do your 3 horses look like, guys?
I'm going to assume that the horses are not freshly laundered isn't the right word, but it's the word I'm going with.
Groomed.
Groomed, yeah, brushed. So Kitasha's horse is going to be a massive strawberry roan. So it's
Okay.
going to be with like peachy, orangey, like splotches all over it.
Mhm.
Kind of like if someone took really thick watercolor and just stabbed the brush into whatever they were painting. And he's just a dirty gelding. He's just a dirty gelding. So most of the orange splotches are covered with like a little blood.
Okay. Joe, what does the horse that you end up walking up to after being dropped off? What does your horse look like?
I don't know much about horses or horse types.
You don't have to give me a type. Just
Okay.
think of a horse look.
Yeah, I think nice, like a jet black sort of stallion is the word, probably too big. I don't know that stallion's too big. Just like a normal size horse, an average looking horse, but yeah, black mane, friendly eyes. Seems like it has the vibe of someone like a horse that wouldn't kick anyone.
So
You've
Even
not
if
been around horses.
Even if I roll a bad animal handling check, it's got that vibe that it won't really matter and it's still going to be nice. That's that. If I was to describe the horse, that's
got a girl horse. It'll follow the butt of whatever in front of it.
Mako, what does your pygmy horse look like?
I also I was thinking like either it would be just like a black and white like pony or something that's the word for size, or either that or just like a dotted gray quarter horse, just like standard military issue style.
It would be so hilarious if Mako got a really like big old like
Clydesdale.
horse, like for show jumping, that is meant to clear like 6 foot is.
If you would like Mako, you could have this.
You know what? Sure, let's go for it.
We can keep your color coding that you want. Which colors did you want?
Let's go with the dappled gray.
Okay. As you approach each of these animals, I would like for each of you to give me just a simple animal handling check.
All right.
That's what I was afraid of.
Just do. That's not great.
Yeah,
Oof.
that's a 2.
Dasha, you're natural at this. You love animals. They love you. You go up. This sweet old thing looks at you and he's just like, yeah, I like you. You're free.
Good.
You have an understanding.
Do I get to add my proficiency to this because I have proficiency in land vehicles, which is technically
No.
horses?
Your horse's tail will flick up at you and flick you lightly at the ear, but it lets you near it. Joe tries to come up and like pet this horse and slips and just smacks his face into it a little bit. His nose might be bleeding a little bit, but it's okay. No real damage done. The horse looks at you. And there's so much judgment in this horse's eyes. And you hear, and it just begrudgingly looks forward. It's just.
Sorry, horse. I don't know your name, so I don't know how to refer to you. But I hope there's room for me and my dog on here.
The horse will actually look back at you, look at the dog, and stomp its foot and kind of shimmy away from you. There's definitely room in the wagon for Hercules.
No, that's fine.
But
As long as I'm awake, Hercules cannot suffer exhaustion, which means he can literally sprint indefinitely. So he can run alongside. That's fine.
He cannot keep up with these horses.
He can go 40 feet per turn, 80 feet if he's dashing. It's But I guess he'll go in the wagon.
I think horses have a base speed of like 50 or 60, so I don't think we'll keep up.
That's not going to work. He'll need to go in the wagon.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
You could try it, but it would become very evident, very clear, very quickly. So, you all can load up the wagon how you want and set off on your journey. Is there anything you want to do beforehand, before you set off?
Joe, it seems like you're having a little bit of trouble. Do you want me to tie your horse to mine?
Maybe. I mean, clearly I've got the difficult horse. I mean, it's fine. There's always there's not much I can do about that.
Katasha's gonna.
His head goes back like that as the tail hits full speed against his skull at that comment.
Yeah, Katasha's like gets a frown between her eyebrows and like looks like keeps like facing Joe, but will just kind of like look at the horse and just kind of have a like. Is he?
It looks at you with these sad, soulful eyes. Just, do you see what I put up with?
You know what? I'm still learning. Maybe me and this horse will get on eventually.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But Kitasha will take some of her rope and is there like an added attachment to the barding?
Yeah, you could definitely. It's clear that they suspected something like this might happen just because they didn't know necessarily. Level would be great with horses, but it was going to be a lot easier for you to travel by horse.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, there's a section that you could tie, and it won't impede with the horse's movement. It'll just help guide it with yours.
Okay. So if that's the case, then Kitasha will attach it to the barding of Joe's horse, and then we'll go over to her gelding, which I've just called Huckleberry. And
Yes.
it's going to go over to Huckleberry, and if there is a horn on the saddle, like Western saddle, then she'll wrap the rope around it until it'll hold with its own tension. If not, she will kind of hold it in one hand with the reins.
You'll be good to set it with the horn.
Okay.
I like Western style saddles.
Okay. I wasn't sure if it was going to be Western or like Japanese Edo period saddles, where it's really high front and back, so you never.
Nah, it'll be more Western style.
Okay.
All right. You can go ahead and begin your first day of travel. I would like to get some survival checks from each of you.
All right.
Okay. Yeah. You guys start off. Kitasha, you start to get a little bit uncomfortable on the horse saddle. It's just, not quite something you're used to, but you manage to kind of just shake that off. And you guys all start heading out. It's a lot of woodland, and as you can tell from the map, eventually you are going to get to some more mountainous regions. But for the time being, just a lot of forest. You're going through. Let's just see really quick if, just see how things go. Yeah, you don't seem to notice anything. Are you guys choosing to be, stealthy at all, or are you just happy-go-lucky going through the woods?
I don't think we have a reason to be stealthy, but like I think we're probably going to be cautious just because we don't know what we're going to find on the way. So like we're probably not going full tilt, but like we're also like not like trying to be specifically sneaky.
I mean, going with 3 horses in a cart, like, that's going to be a tough one to be stealthy with anyway.
That's true.
We can still be cautious though.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, you can get through an entire day's worth of travel without any real issue. And you can, come up to a clearing and see that you're getting close to kind of the mountainous region to set up camp for the night. So you
Nice.
can all go ahead and start setting up camp if you would like. The sun is beginning to set, so we have a nice sunset area. What would you guys like to do?
Let's see. Is the map that's currently up where we're planning on setting up camp?
Yes, let me. Where did it go?
I think we're in the bottom left.
Yes, I had a specific actual map here. Let me just quickly remake it because apparently it didn't save. So just give me a brief moment here. I remake it because goodness. You guys will probably end up. Oh, God. You 3 will end up probably about here on this page as you begin to set up camp in this area here. Just make sure all of these have correct things on them. There we go. Yes, so this is kind of the area, what it looks like. You've made it a third of the way, as expected. You guys didn't encounter too much issues, but you found a nice. Should be pretty good for camping, you'd say.
To answer your question, I'd probably be helping unload anything we need to from the horses, and then probably working on the fire. That's probably something I could, do a bit better.
Okay.
Kita will get the horses set up and make sure that they have enough of lead on their reins so that they can kind of like move around to graze and sleep standing up or laying down, whatever they're most comfortable doing.
Each horse nuzzles you. Each of the horses really they're good with you. We'll see in the morning how they react to everyone.
I think that's it.
Okay. Is there anything Mako would like to be doing during this?
Mako will probably be first getting the tent set up, and then would be collecting any of the needed materials. Like if we're collecting firewood for Joe, and like setting up, or checking out locations for for watches and like where and sight lines for that.
Yeah, can you give me just a brief perception check? Let's go with that.
All right.
Just so you can get some really good watches areas.
It's a 16.
Yeah, you can find a couple spots that are decently you can see quite a bit from without being super noticeable. So if you wanted to stay hidden, you can. Yeah, you find a couple of spots that'll be good for however you want to set up the watches that night. You're able to find quite a bit of firewood for Joe. And yeah, getting the tent set up and everything. As night falls, you can all gather around the campfire and go about your business setting up watches as you'd like.
How is y'all's night vision? Out of curiosity.
It's a very good question.
It's about the same as normal. I can see out to about that far. It mechanically, it's going to be about 60 feet.
Yeah, I've got dark vision as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have dark vision. I
Someone doesn't have dark vision. Excellent.
No.
Not actually sure.
No, I only have blind sight, so it's not very far for that. So
Most excellent.
so that's the case. Then it probably makes sense for Mako to take the watch where, either in the early morning or if the sun hasn't set yet, it's still twilight. Then probably the first watch, but it wouldn't make sense for her to be the midnight watch.
Okay. I mean, we do have a fire going, but yeah, if you're not too tired from the ride, Mako, you can go ahead and take first.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Okay. And Joe, do you want to take second or third?
I'll take second.
Okay. I get a full night's sleep. And Gitasha will snuggle down into her sleeping bag, which is close to the horses.
Sounds good. Joe, are you off to sleep now, or are you staying up with Mako for a bit?
You should probably go off to sleep, but I'll wake you up when it's your turn.
All right. Thank you. I'll try and get as much rest as possible. All right.
Okay. Mako, give me another perception check for your night watch.
It's a 10.
10? Okay. And let me roll a die here real quick. Your watch is uneventful. You don't really notice anything. There's, every once in a while you might notice a deer coming by. Once in a while you see one look up. At one point one makes eye contact with you. Just blinks softly, and then hops away back into the forest. But you really don't notice anything too suspicious or anything. Every once in a while you hear maybe a distant howl of a wolf, but nothing close enough to be of concern.
Okay.
And your watch will end with no issues.
And look up Joe, and I'll remind him 3 hours, no more. You'll need you need to get the rest of your sleep after you're done.
All right. Thank you. Anything eventful?
No, it's pretty quiet out there.
All right. I hope it stays that way. I'll have Hercules to keep me company.
All right.
All right. Joe, go ahead and give me a perception check.
Okay. Perception. You're making me roll all these wisdom checks that are back to back. I somehow got an 18.
It's good. That's a very good perception check.
Oh no.
You hear something in the woods.
Hmm.
And it sounds big. Really big.
I don't like that.
And you, with your perception check you rolled, I will give you the ability that Joe will realize it would probably be best to smother the fire right now and get as low to the ground as he can.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. Oh, that's crazy. Okay,
Okay.
I'll have whatever I'm doing. Hercules again doesn't need sleep, so I'll have him helping me. So either putting out the fire and then trying to keep watch, protect others. I'll probably have him stand next or lie down next to Mako.
And I
Alright.
would like you to give me a stealth check with advantage.
Ooh. Well, I have disadvantage on stealth, so I guess that cancels out.
You can go ahead and skip your disadvantage for this.
Okay.
Just take it with advantage.
Can I make it so that I roll with advantage on here? Maybe. Oh well, I'll just roll twice. So one is a 15 and one is an 18. I'll take the 18, please.
Excellent. You lower yourself to the ground and you instruct Hercules to stay down to the ground unless something were to attack you. And you watch as a large dire spider skitters around. It's a very large, bulbous black spider. These big, kind of glowing green eyes. And you can tell it's prowling around for something to eat. And see its mandibles. And it looks over towards your campsite, chitters to itself, and continues its way along down the road, away from your camp. You stay low for probably about an hour, just to be sure, before getting yourself back up and stoking the fire a little bit to get it back. And then the rest of your watch is pretty uneventful.
Is what I have to say about that.
You rolled one of the only super bad things on my list here. Good job.
I think I've been rolling just very well, luckily. But my rolls have been pretty good today so far. Alright, I guess towards the end of the 3 hours, I'll wake up Katasha. You ready for your watch?
Okay. Sure. Katasha will look towards the horses. Do they seem like they're spooked in any way?
To be honest, the horses were just out the whole time. They were tired from a long day's walk, and most of them were kind of laying down. You can see your horse was laying down, but its eyes are open and watchful.
Okay.
It was. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay. You
There
probably
was a giant spider.
okay. That makes sense. Yeah, you go ahead and sleep. Dream of the cute little spider toes. I got this.
Oh, no. Alright, I'll get Hercules to stand by and protect you if he'll be any help.
Oh, sure. I can teach him how to be a dog. Maybe.
This is it's like a kid's version of the second Terminator movie. Instead of teaching the Terminator to be human, it's just teaching a dog to be a dog. Alright.
Alright. Kitasha, same thing for you. I'd like a perception check.
Oh, good thing I have that because I'm going to add in my extra D4.
That would be good.
All right, so 11.
Okay. You can hear in the distance a couple more wolves than what Mako heard, but they're still quite a distance. Nothing too worrying. You kind of move your head a little bit at times, just waking yourself up. You can have fun with Hercules if you'd like during yours, but nothing too eventful happens.
Mhm.
And slowly, the sun begins to rise. And you can wake your party to begin your journey anew.
All right. I think Kitasha's going to do a nice slow wake up, where she's going to add a little bit more fuel to the fire, so
Mhm.
it makes it brighter, and then going to put some water in a pot and like break down some of the rations,
Mhm.
like a strange matzo ball soup, like a very flavorless, sad little matzo ball soup for
Oh, that's
breakfast.
very nice.
It's just water and bread that happens to be warm. And
Making me hungry.
the smell and the heat and the light.
Yeah. You guys can all wake up just fine. Everyone wakes up in the morning, even the horses. And you can have your breakfast and conversation if you want. Otherwise, we can continue on our journey.
I do I don't know, maybe a nature check. I guess I'm just generally wondering if the spider from last night would be like a common occurrence in this area, or whether I know this area very well. I guess or nature or anything else, whatever you think would be appropriate.
Nature's fine.
Right, that is a 6. They cannot be winners.
Much nature.
That was the strangest thing you have ever seen. You didn't know there were spiders out here, even small ones, let alone a dire spider. What's he doing out here? You don't even know what type it was. There's a big old ugly thing skittering around at night. Dare it skitter around near you.
Yeah, but maybe his expertise is not with nature then. So I saw a very, very, very large spider last night, but I was able to put out the fire temporarily and try and keep out of sight. Maybe just something to watch out for the next couple nights.
I'll do.
Look
Yeah.
at me, the DM with arachnophobia, putting spiders in her game. Woo.
Not the DM listening to a podcast where one of the big things are spiders. Ooh.
Listen, the web is great.
Just turn on arachnophobia mode, and then the spider will be replaced with something else.
Big
It's the Lethal Company style, where it's just the word arachnid around.
Instead of seeing the spider, it's just the hitbox. It's just this big blob.
Don't want it to be a big blob, then it's a gelatinous cube.
It's just a missing texture.
It's like the when you go into Prop Hunt and it's just the error block. All right. You guys can start your day off with some more animal handling and survival check.
One of each?
Yep.
Slightly better animal handling for me.
Oh, Kitasha, your horse just loves you.
delicious. Me and Mr. Huck
And
have
that's a crit on survival. I don't know.
that is a
I'm sorry, I just saw Joe's animal handling.
How bad is it?
Joe, you get bucked off your horse. You take 1 point of damage. Luckily, you landed in a very soft pile of sand. You didn't land in a pile of tree. But you went to get on your horse and you dug your foot into its gut. And it was not happy with you. Oh, that's even worse. Would you like to try and get back on your horse?
Yes, I'll try. You know what? I reckon the problem was I was facing backwards before. I tried sitting on it normally now. Yeah, this will be fine.
And Kitasha will use the help action
to. Alright, you have advantage on your animal handling.
Yay!
Yeah. She's
so
going.
That one's
much better.
Yeah, I'll
so
take
Kitasha will guide you onto your horse in the proper way to get onto a horse instead of trying to clamber up and hurting the horse. And the horse just kind of like, okay, yeah, the very nice orcish lady is helping him, so that's fine.
I'm picturing Kitasha like picking up Joe and just.
It's gonna be more like so. Kitasha's gonna lead his horse over to like a stump of a tree, so he has like a boost. Now, see, so the horse is made of flesh, so you can't really climb it. So you, that stirrup there, you just stick your toes in there, just your toes, okay? You don't want to stick your entire foot in there, or else it's going to get stuck. So you just need to stick your toes in there, and then just push up off your toes.
Yeah, this is feeling easier already. This is going well.
Oh yeah, and you know it's a lot easier getting down, than getting up. So I have great faith. Made good strides today. Kitasha's gonna do a little like a little good-natured like slap on your horse's butt.
You'll feel it start to buck a little bit, Joe, and it settles back down, kind of like. But you had this brief moment of fear where you held onto the horn quickly, like, I'm gonna get booked up again.
Joe is thinking that the keeping watch has put him on edge more than he realized.
I will say, looking at our survival checks, Mako is doing a lot of, Mako and Kitasha are both doing remarkably at this. Actually, Mako notices as you're climbing up towards the mountainous region, that there are several sections where it's a bit unstable and helps to guide the horses and you guys along a much safer path. It takes you a little bit longer throughout the day to actually get to your marker for the night, but it's definitely a lot better. And, by the end of the day, you really don't run into too much. Every once in a while you hear birds. You can hear some creatures hunting in the woods, but nothing close enough to you guys, because you're rolling excellently. But I will say, by the time you make camp, now Kitasha and Mako, you guys are feeling fine. You've done a lot of, tough travel, but you've gotten used to, the saddle riding thing. Joe, you are so saddle sore. And you are going to take a point of exhaustion from it.
Oh, that's rude. Alright.
You feel stiff. You're just there like, you're not too happy with having to ride a horse.
Mm-hmm.
But you guys do make it to your next camping location without it too much trouble. You get through the area. You hear, while you were walking around and Mako redirecting you guys, you do hear once in a while the sound of distant rock slides. So you definitely think, oh, it was really good that Mako noticed that. But you can once again set up your camp.
All right. Yeah. I'll probably just be doing the same, but just very slow and awkwardly. Yeah. I don't think Joe's going to admit to being in pain from the riding. I think he's just going to be walking kind of awkwardly, but trying to act normal, assuming that everyone else is going through the exact same thing.
First of all, no. Second of all,
Have you ever ridden a horse? Just like
Yeah,
genuinely.
multiple times. Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And I'm fine on horses. I'm just playing a character who's never left the city.
No. The question I have is like, have you ever experienced saddle soreness? Because he ain't walking normally. He may think he's trying to walk normally. He ain't.
Sure. Yeah, no, exactly. It's like hobbling, trying to act normal though.
mm-hmm. Yeah, Joe might think he's being sly, but Kitasha's got a passive insight of 15. So, unless he's really trying to deceive, Kitasha can pick up on it really quick. And so as soon as she gets the horses settled, she's gonna do like a very exaggerated, like, man, I am sore. Good thing I know these stretches that'll help get back to me. And I'm pretty sure she'll find like a very even cylindrical like log to just kind of like roll out with.
Nice.
And do a little like downward facing dog. Bear walks, like the standard stuff.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that Mako would probably suggest like an herbal remedy that is like a staple for the military. Just like a everyone knows that if your saddle's sore, take this particular herbal supplement. It'll help. Because given the troop of drugs is cheaper than PT.
If you look in your bags, you could definitely find that supplement in there. Talos is really looking out for you guys. You can look through the stuff and be like, wow, he thought of everything.
I looked through. It's like a multivitamin, like gummies or something. Like
It's Flintstone gummies.
Just like, oh, that's yeah.
One a day.
Wow, he really did think of everything.
Oh, there's even a little beholder.
What? Yeah, I think even with the survival checks on the way up, could we potentially use those to like pick up herbs that we think might be helpful?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
You and Mako rolled well enough that you could definitely do that.
Rolled stupid good.
Yeah.
Maybe while we're having dinner or you're beginning to rest around the campfire before the night closes in, I'll say I'm sorry to both of you if I'm letting the team down a little bit at the moment. I'm just this is very far out of my comfort zone. This is not something I'm used to. I'll keep trying to learn a lot of these new skills, but this is not usually my wheelhouse.
That's okay. Would it be easier if you rode in the wagon? Just to give your muscles some rest?
Maybe. Either way would probably be fine. I don't know if it's wise to keep trying and maybe I eventually learn and get good at being on a horse, or whether I just stick to what I'm good at.
It's good to try new things, but we also don't want you hurting yourself while you're trying to learn said new. So it might be good for you've gone through most of the journey, over half at least on the horse. That's a pretty good. That's pretty good progress.
Perhaps I could have one more rest day and then try the final stretch on the horse, or do a half day or something.
Oh.
All right. Thank you. I'm glad you both know what you're doing. At least I'm glad we're not all city folk.
Mako just there like, this is totally not the first time I've ridden a horse.
I figured Mako's probably ridden a horse before.
It's true, with her family line, she's probably.
Yeah. And probably at this point, because automobiles are so new, it's probably still standard training to be able to at least mount and ride a horse for a bit.
It's true. All right.
Right. Did we want to do the same thing we did last night?
Seemed to work fairly well.
Yeah.
If the big spider comes back specifically on my watch again, I'm calling shenanigans. That's all I'm saying.
Dude, you rolled a 1 on the encounter sheet. I can't help you there.
All right.
Okay. So if that is the case, then Mako will be our first watch.
All right.
Go ahead and get that perception check.
17.
You can hear some things in the distance, not quite as far away as you would be normally comfortable with, but you don't think it's going to be the issue. You can hear the sound of furry legs, long, furry, 8-legged things moving in the forest. But you don't think that they'll come towards you.
All right.
But you keep a good eye out for them. But yeah.
I'll probably spread the ashes of the fire a bit, let it die down a bit, just in case.
Yeah, nothing ends up getting too close by, but there's definitely a couple more predators out in this area, and it's not quite as a covered region as you were in.
Okay.
But the rest of your watch passes without too much event. If you would like to hand it off to
Yeah.
Joe.
Same thing. Remind him 3 hours, no more.
All right.
All right, Joe, give me a perception check.
All right. I'm rolling with disadvantage because I'm exhausted.
Mm-hmm.
My app is bugged, so I can't actually see my dice rolls. So I don't know if any of
You
can
got
see.
a 14. You're good.
Mm-hmm.
Was that the lowest?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Cool.
So you can hear, and unless Mako did decide to put the fire up back how it was, if it's still how she left it, in the low light, you can still hear, again, pretty close by, but you can hear barking and howling in the distance.
Mm.
Yeah.
And
I'll keep my
along...
spears. I'll keep my sort of weapon and my shield sort of just at the ready, kind of very close by, just in case I need to use either.
Yeah, along the mountain ridge up to your right, you see the silhouette of 5 wolves come up along it. And you can see them looking around. You can kind of lower yourself. If you want to give me a quick stealth check. I'm sorry, for some reason your encounter sheet is worse than everyone else's.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the app. I physically cannot see any dice rolls, but
That's okay.
that one's with disadvantage.
So don't worry about it. The wolves don't notice you.
All right.
So then you watch them eerily as they're quite a bit up on the mountain ridge, and you see them duck back along. And you listen for a while. You hear the sound of something large going down, and you figure that they must have caught something.
Okay.
And things go quiet.
I guess just to pass the time, I'll be practicing. So upon reaching level 3, I have the ability to make or to adapt to my spear so it can be a returning weapon. So the way I want to flavor it is that it's every time I throw the spear, I kind of catch it with the telekinesis and bring it back and sort of hold it again. So I'll just be practicing like sort of throwing it like 20 feet and then immediately like pausing it in the air and bringing it back over to me. So just something to fill the time.
Sounds good. Yeah. Rest of your watch
All right.
passes fine, and you can hand it off to Kitasha.
All right.
Kitasha, who's over there looking like she's going to fall asleep.
Definitely not. Prove it.
Relatable.
It's okay, there's only 20 minutes left of the session, don't you worry. Alright, look at that. Perception check from Kitasha.
23.
Oh dear, it helps if it actually goes in there. Hold on. Okay, there we go. I just was like, I don't want to roll the same thing 3 times in a row. Alright. I'm now laughing though, because I was like, we can't just always get wolves and spiders. For you, Kitasha. And you've got plenty of, visual on this. You see a brown bear lumbering in the distance.
Oh, how is
It's tired. It's just shambling along.
what's the season?
You're looking at about, let's say, midsummer.
Okay.
But it's just shambling along. It doesn't seem to see you. You watch him as he goes up, shimmies himself against a tree a little bit. He keeps wandering away. Y'all encountered a lot of predators this time. I do have things that aren't actually dangerous on this list, I promise.
Yeah.
But you can make it through your watch perfectly fine. And get ready in the morning. Joe, if you would like to stay in the wagon, by the time you would reach your destination, you will have cleared that exhaustion.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that for the sake of the exhaustion. Exhaustion. Ugh. Well.
Mm-hmm.
So I will just need an animal handling and a survival check again from Mako and Kitasha.
Less good today.
Less good today? Hold on, Oh, both of you less good today.
My survival's better.
Your survival's better. The horses are tired.
Yeah, big
Everybody's
tired.
It seems that maybe the horses were also pretty aware of the predator animals around last night.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't sleep really well, so they're a bit finicky. But you guys manage, get on your horses. And with your survival checks, you shouldn't be saddle sore by the time you reach your area. Let's just double check. Is that a new number? Oh, it's a nothing happens number. You can experience nothing!
Yes.
You can walk around the mountainous region. You can listen to the birds chirp as you're going around. Joe's in the back, resting up, because he woke up and he was just bum tired. So he's in the back of the wagon with the supplies, along with his dog, who's laid its head on his stomach. It's kind of heavy, but you know what? It's like a weighted blanket. It's fine. Mako and Kitasha are following along. Joe's horse is tied up to the back of the wagon, just following along that way. And you make it, and then rain starts to fall. It's a little at first as you're making your way. And then some more. And then more. And then it's just as if the floodgates opened. As you reach this kind of plateau area of the mountainous region. The clouds have opened up, and you are just drenched within seconds. This wakes you up, Joe. Because it soaks through the canvas of the wagon. And you guys can notice in just a little bit of distance, you can see a large mansion in this very landscaped, fenced-in area around it into the big fountain that is overflowing now from the rainwater. And you can look up at this 2-story mansion that has several gargoyles attached along it. You can probably count about 8 through the rain.
Mm-hmm.
All of them with their mouths open and rainwater flooding out of them and out away from the house through the gutter lines that line up to them.
That's
and Which is
cool.
keeping most of it off the windows and such. You can see many large stained glass windows framing this building. It looks pretty dark inside, but you guys can make a beeline for it. You can see a kind of overhang area that connects to a stables that you guys can store the horses for the night. And you guys, if you choose to, could either hang out in the stables or you can go ahead and go inside to get out of the rain.
So let's just go ahead and start. Let's go inside.
All right. Keep your defenses up, guys. Don't just be careful.
All right. And as you walk inside, you can see a vast, just foyer with another fountain inside, and from outside, you can hear the rainwater as it's being funneled through the gargoyles away from the windows. You can hear kind of the roaring of it, but it's quite distant sounding. And you look and you can see just pristine tiling throughout the entire area. Doors to your right and left, there's 2 sets. And then along towards the staircase, you can see some rows of armor that have been stacked upon mannequins. And when you walked in, there were 2 candles by the front door that as soon as your motion was hit, they come to life and a light flickers on them immediately.
Would I be able to do a little arcana check to see if that's like part of just the magical effect of these candles, or whether we've already alerted something?
Go for it.
So I'm just I guess analyzing the candles.
Mm-hmm. You rolled a 22. You can tell that from these that they are essentially motion sensor lights.
That's awesome.
So, once they detect movement, the fire lights upon them, and it brings out this glow within it. But it seems to be that you have to be within range of a light. You don't, with that roll, actually, these lights will stay on for several hours.
Nice. All right. We've this is just normal, in case either of you are wondering.
That candles turn on by themselves?
Normal for these candles, at least. This isn't anything untoward, as far as I can tell.
You can look up at the amazingness that is all of the stained glass windows that, from the lights of the candles, they're flickering a little bit, but you can imagine that when the sun is up, that it shines through these stained glass windows and just bathes everything in a wash of color. The fountain is pristine. Everything about this building looks pristine. You can tell that definitely some of those pieces of armor are enchanted armor that you might have even read about in a book. But you also realize this place is quite large. So it might take you a while to find exactly what's the issue. But that is an issue for our next session.
Nice. Thank you. Thank you, Michaela. That was very nice.
And so our next session will be on the 3rd of January.
Oh
That's
no,
alright.
guys, next year.
Next year! We had to wait a whole year for our next D&D session.
Oh no.
Already harder. But yeah. Especially because someone has to go to Barcelona.
Yeah, David.
David's out. I think we lost him.
I'm still here.
Oh, nope, there he is.
Sorry.
Alright.
You're
I'll
fine.
see you guys in a couple of weeks, I guess.
Yeah, sounds good. And then you guys can explore this area. And it'll be nice and
Please,
fun.
if you haven't got it already, please can there be one little reference to a Luigi's Mansion? I'm not sure how, but I feel like it's got to be important. It's a big old mansion.
To be frank with you, I love Luigi's Mansion. It's part of what inspired this whole arc mission.
Let's go. Okay, nice.
Mentioned, but there's already a call to the Beast from Belle from Beauty and the Beast, where it's just the candle lit up first.
Michaela, with the 22 of an Arcana check on the candle, could I determine whether it would have a French accent if it was sentient?
If it was sentient, yeah.
It's a sentient opera.
Yeah. It had the vibe, you know. You're like, yeah, I could tell.
Yeah.
All
No,
right.
it's the ones that lit, by the way, were not candelabras. They are just single candles on these sections by the door.
Good to know.
You hear a faint do 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 in the distance. Maybe we'll have David set up for the entire next session. We'll just have the Luigi's Mansion theme playing in the distance.
Well, that could be what. So.
I just thought of it being like a menorah, but only with 2 candles lit. So it could also.
Let's make this as Jewish as possible. We've had matzo soup, and we will also have menorahs everywhere.
Yeah, have a little dreidel playing in between Luigi's Mansion.
There's just a couple spinning randomly that you just walk past.
We already know that the Hercules the dog has a record player inside, so he can canonically be playing the Luigi's Mansion theme.